This is the Southern Cross Series number 3, the finals, game 2 of the finals. The last game was played on Delta Quadrant. This one is on Metalopolis. Deth is spawning in the 12 o'clock position as the red Terran player, and we have dtay in the 2 o'clock position as the blue Protoss. dtay taking the last game. They were both pushing for their third bases. dtay came in and got some very good storms on a Banshee and a Marine Army, and basically walked over him with gateway units and a couple of Immortals. Quite a strong push at a very good time. If he waited too much longer, I reckon Death's macro would have started to kick in, taking his third base a little bit sooner, and he would have just started getting a lot of Banshees up. Banshees work a bit like Mutas in that 1 or 2 in an army. Just adds to damage. Once you start getting that sort of high amount of Banshees, they start working quite well in packs and dealing a lot of damage. He did actually go very overboard with Observer's dtay. I mean overboard in a good way and not in an overkill way. Getting 3 when he pushed in, just so it prevented the scan and target it down so that the Cloak Banshees can kill everything. I think 1 was killed out of the 3 in that game. Very, very well done by dtay. Obviously learning Death and understanding what he does. Back in Death's base here, we have got the barracks going up. He's doing this supply depot here. He did this in the last game. In fact, he's done it all tournament. Puts 1 here, 1 here, which creates a very nice choke point. And he can build a bunker at the top, which you can put units in to defend against early pushes. So possibly learnt that against 4-gate and other types of pushes. Learnt that if he puts that bunker there in that choke, the gateway units really can't come in. SCV here tackling a probe. In fact, if he loses that one, that will be a very big blow early on. He's trying to prevent this barracks from being built. A bit of probe and SCV wars going on here, but this probe will get chased out on 10 health. Having him look back in dtay's base, getting his first gateway up on, looks like 16, and a pylon, so fairly late gateway, like an early gas and a late gateway. So whether he missed that from his microing in his opponent's base, or whether it's intended, we'll have to wait and see. Might be a more economic build. Have to keep an eye on, see what he does from here. This probe here still trying to be annoying, poking around, trying to scout but also do damage. This Marine is now out and should deny this probe completely, and he's going to run away. Will he get that probe away? Almost. Will he? Looks like he might get that away. Probe's moving slightly faster than Marines. You have to make an error to lose it at this point. Unless this Marine just completely chases it back to the Protoss's base. No, he's choosing to pull away. SCV in his opponent's base here. 2 gateways going down quite early actually. I don't think this is a 2-gate push. I think it's just him trying to catch up on his late gateway here. Obviously 2-gate push is a bit late for that now. You needed to get that first gateway up a bit sooner and chrono boost out the Zealot. That didn't happen. So just trying to, I reckon, counter for that missed early gateway. He's getting his Cybernex core up too. From here, I reckon we'll probably see a robotics facility come down. It's very strong to do against Terran. Obviously you can scout. They're very close by air, so Banshee builds are actually, I reckon, pretty good. Death actually scouting out that 2-gate and kind of expecting some pressure, so getting that bunker up as insurance. Bunkers obviously are pretty much free. It's sort of like a temporary loss in money, but it's, I mean, that bunker, and once his depot goes up, that's going to be pretty much impossible for the Protoss to break unless he's like 4-gating and Death doesn't build anything else. We see a factory going up now, so not going for that second Rax this game. Going for double refinery, so I'm definitely going to see Banshee play, especially on this map. It's so good with close air distance. Being able to push across that gap and into your opponent's base, especially with Cloak, is so powerful. Especially because trying to counter-attack as well, it's such a long ground distance that if he moves out to try and counter-attack, then well, really, you can basically do some harassment, kill those probes, and fly back to your base and be there in time to save it. We've seen expansion coming down from dtay. I like this timing. It is early. He did that last game, but Death did match it. Sorry. In this game, he's not matching it. He's instead going for the quicker Banshees. Whether there's enough, where he can get enough Stalkers out to really deny that Banshee. He also needs a robotics facility, which he's starting to get now with the Observer. That robotics facility probably will be in time for the Banshee Cloak. Definitely will be. There might, if he chooses only to go for 1, it's in the opponent's base though. Could be a bit of issues, but I reckon he should be fine. Seeing not much else really going on here from both players. Only a few small units out here. Has he scouted his opponent though is the question. Just whilst this probe goes and runs away. He doesn't see the starport going up as well. And there is a tech lab here for the starport. So as soon as it finishes, it will lift off and attach to this one here, I would assume. Or it's just going to build its own. I would have liked him to possibly just switch it over, because I mean, if you're going for a Banshee build, you want the quicker ones, or probably should have built with the factory in hindsight, but still, getting the command center off as well. Death, has he seen his opponent's he has seen his opponent's fast expand, or fairly fast expand, so he needs to match it. Otherwise, he will fall behind in the macro game. Otherwise, this Banshee play isn't all in, and really, when you're one game down the finals, you don't want to be playing all in tactics. Unless you know you can definitely win with it, but still. Robotics facility is out, and we should see observers. One's coming out now, unless one is already out. I don't think so. Nah. He does look at this tower here, which kind of threw me off a bit. So he's getting this one observer out now. I would like to see him chrono boost it out. He has got full chrono boost, so he's not using that chrono boost. Free bonus. Small error not doing that, I guess, but I'm not going to pick him apart for it. Not using this one either. So small errors here might hurt him, but hey. Banshee's starting to come out now. Cloak is coming, but as you can see by the production menu, the cloak, the observer already out, so definitely out in time for this cloaked Banshee if it does happen. Observer coming down the front here, as we see just a Helion come and try and harass, but is chased off by Stalkers and Sentries, and the Zealots are there just watching the Stalkers do their nice little handiwork. You see a Banshee in this base here, already has 3 kills. Comes up though, doesn't have cloak yet, it's just going to get chased off. Free damage basically. Gets 4 probes so far. He's going to go for the 5th. Does get the 5th. Is he going to kill those? The question. He's not microing. He needs to pull that back. He loses that Banshee early. That is a poor error. He could have pulled that back. He had ample time, but he didn't. Small error there. That will slowly set him behind. He's going to push now. Or sorry, he's not going to push. He's going to move out so he can defend this command center. Has he got stim or any upgrades yet? He hasn't got stim. He has got concussive shells. So lacking stim right now, I don't think we're going to see any sort of barracks push soon. Cloak is done from the Banshee, but I think this Observer is hanging around somewhere. Banshee is in, and there's Cloak now. Observer nowhere in sight. In fact, I can't even see where it is. Could be a small error. I'm just keeping an eye trying to find this. There's the Observer. It was in his opponent's base, so small error there. Sending the Observer to his opponent's base is scouting out at the same time that Banshee comes through. So gets some kills there. How many kills does this one have? It has 3. So it's starting to really allow off the probes here. Let's check the income tab. We have 34 harvesters by deth against 31 from dtay. So dtay's early expansion kind of paying off in that he can keep up with his opponent despite this harassment. So that's basically all. He's just evening it up now, and we actually see a 3rd coming down from deth. I don't know if I like the timing, especially with this push coming out now, but obviously he knows what he's doing. This is a small army. He needs to use Banshees to help defend this. In fact, he needs to scout this. Can he see this coming? He cannot see this coming at all. So this is going to be a complete surprise. He will need to defend against it. This Banshee is actually all the way over the other side of the map. You see a probe run in now. This could be a very good timing push. He has full energy sentries as well. He's got 2 of them, so he can get some good force fields out. The Observer coming as well in case the Banshee decides to come and cloak and kill basically everything, obviously without being able to detect the Banshee. It will just destroy his whole push. As we see the push in now, he doesn't have stim either, so this is going to get completely demolished here. He doesn't realize it's happening. Shields here separating these units back here, and these units just getting completely torn apart. Has he got anything? He's got Ghosts out now, barely in time. He does not have enough for EMP though. Sentries SUVs coming out to try and kill all these units. Mules as well, despite not being able to attack. And these units pinned back in his base, one of them being a Ghost. Is he going to run away? No, he just needs to kite here. These are mostly SUVs. He can pick off this entire push quite well. Whether he wants to reinforce or not, in fact, fresh batch of units coming out now. Banshee is up, and he can see it, so he knows there is that Observer up. In fact, he probably wants to scan and try and find it, but he might not have enough energy for that. No, he doesn't have any energy for that scan. So SCV's coming out again. This is doing a lot of damage from dtay. He's able to kill a lot of SCVs and get ahead economically, despite the Banshee harass what's going on in his base. Is he pulling back, or is he just going to... Yep, looks like he's running away. He's only got the 5 Stalkers left, so looking to regroup now. Just checking income, because there is a lot of missing probes here. I suspect there was a Banshee that came in now, and yes, actually he is on 19 probes now. So there was a Banshee backstabbing in that attack, which I did miss, but he is now almost half his opponent's miners. I was actually surprised that a lot of his SCVs didn't get picked off. He must have had a lot extra. Cloak Banshee here, this gets picked off in a poor position. Obviously that Observer will still be in there. Oh, good MP there, hits most of the Stalkers. He does not have Stim yet, he needs to be researching Stim. Still hasn't even started Stim yet, just checking production. He's getting +1 weapons, but still doesn't have Stim, so I think that might be a small error. He's getting a planetary fortress up here, and possibly using this base as sort of like, you know, just what he's going to use to win the game. Just hold out until that starts kicking in. Pushing in now. He's probably going to find this base, but there's a planetary up. Planetary is just going to kill 100 units. There is a bunker up as well that helps defend. There is a mortar and 2 marines in there. So this is quite hard to push in now for dtay. He's behind economically, and he's 1 base behind as well, not taking another one. But he has an army advantage right now, I'd say. Needs a second bunker over here. Decent EMP. Not great though. There isn't really any. There's no sentries in here to really aim the EMP for. Just looking at doing shield damage. He's trying to pick off this refinery, picking off stuff that he can get. Hitting zealots with that EMP. That is great. Zealots. Oh, just EMP spamming that. He's got that observer as well. Yeah, observer obviously not going to be able to be hidden if that is EMP'd. Doing well in this push despite not having stim. He has quite a lot of units. In fact, he's going to see this third as he goes past. I hope he did. He did see that planetary fortress, so he's going to be like, oh, he's got 3 bases. I am so far behind. What do you do? Obviously, just pulling back. Deth actually in a very, very strong position here, despite that early push almost killing him. Like, he pulled almost all his SCVs out, but honestly, he didn't do any damage to it as the tank comes out as well. So dtay, let's check the income again. Dtay is on 37 harvesters against Deth's 46. So awesome counterattack there by Deth in that first push, killing all that stuff. He's trying to pick off this medevac here. It would be a shame for Deth if he got it. He doesn't, and concussive shell's done, so he's just going to pick up stray units as he runs away now. Concussive shell's very good for that. Like, if your opponent's running away, you got concussive shells, just chase him, and if you manage to get 1 shot off, bang, you'll catch a unit, and 3 units are awesome. If you ever can take anything of your opponents that doesn't cost you anything, always do it. Always. We see a counter push coming now. There still is no stim. In fact, checking production really quick as this fight's going on. He's almost halfway, over halfway done with stim. But he looks like he's going to push without it, doing a lot of damage. At this point, he's up financially, so he just needs to like defend, cancel armies out, and he will be able to build back quicker. EMP goes off, hits all those stalkers. Good EMPs going on. Zealots coming out, and GG from dtay. He realizes he's so far behind at this point, and that push is so destructive. So the series goes 1-1. So we move on to the 3rd game now. Stay tuned.